Okay, so I know that I should be over this because it is the third film in the franchise, but I still cannot get over how young Daniel LaRusso looks in The Karate Kid. He's so young, but he's like 27 in this film, but he looks like 15. I just still cannot get over it. It just looks like he has never shaved. It just looks like the man has never picked up a razor and gotten even 1 or 2 hairs off his upper lip. Like, some people, they just can't grow a full kind of formed beard or whatever. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. It just looks like he's never even shaved before. It's just such a shiny, baby-looking face. He just looks so young. I feel like I could be his father. Although he's pretty much my age in this film to how old I am now, but I look like I could be his father. It upsets me. And it amazes me. It makes me feel a whole range of emotions. And honestly, that's kind of the biggest takeaway for me from this film is just somehow still very young. So Karate Kid 3, the final film of Daniel and Mr. Miyagi teaming up with their amazing teacher and student thing, you know, that whole sensei-student situation. And this one, I really enjoyed. I'd seen the Rotten Tomatoes. It's insane. 15%. Not that like I go off that, but just, I don't know. I'd looked at number 2, so I was like just very curious at number 3. Like, is it kind of like it just keeps going down. It's a very low score. So my expectations were very low. They were non-existent. I'm like, man, it must just kind of like completely just like lose its way. Whereas I found this one to be really, really fun. Like, not nearly as good as the first one. I don't think either of the sequels kind of, you know, hold a candle to that first one. The first one is just so perfect, works on so many levels. But the reasons that I love this one are kind of reasons why I didn't love but also loved the second one. Part 2 really didn't feel like kind of the sequel I just presumed it would be. Like a classic 80s, let's just do it again. New bully, new tournaments, let's just do it again. Whereas this is just exactly that. It's just, let's do it again, baby. New villain, new girlfriend, new lesson for him to learn with Mr. Miyagi, and new villains sensei as well. But the way they kind of handled all this and the way they made Daniel kind of go under this new evil trainer but didn't realize he was evil at the time, and he's slowly teaching him through the Cobra Kai methods and slowly teaching him kind of the ways of Cobra Kai and making him slowly build up this kind of aggression and this way of karate that Mr. Miyagi never wanted to teach, and he slowly kind of falls into kind of the trap that Johnny did and became very aggressive and mean and angry. But then he realizes, of course, he has to Mr. Miyagi his way out of it, and just, I don't know, that whole kind of twist on it, I really, really enjoyed. I found it really fun seeing kind of Daniel push to the edge, getting all aggressive, getting to bar fights and all that kind of stuff, having blood on him and a bit like, why have I done this? What have I become? It was all just like really entertaining. Just a little bit more of like a spice on the meal that is the Karate Kid franchise formula, you know, where there's just like, got to do a thing, training montage, bully is like, well, I won't punch you if you fight me at this specific time, otherwise I'll punch you every day. So the pause of punching, training, montage, fight! And they just do that, but with that little bit of a twist. And for me, that was enough. And just seeing John Kreese back, seeing this new trainer, Terry Silver, look, Mr., you know, that guy, I found that all a lot of fun. I particularly love the scene where Daniel's like, I'm not doing any of this Cobra Kai stuff. I'm a good little boy. And then John Kreese jumps out from behind a picture of himself and he's like, rah! And Daniel Russo's like, oh my dear Lord! And it's very entertaining. I mean, that worth the price of admission. Price of admission being the free download. I mean, watching it on a streaming service. Which one? I'll never tell. So this is the first Karate Kid film that I've seen, having watched a bunch of Cobra Kai, seen 2 seasons, and it's kind of funny just kind of seeing it now that I know they're all older, like this new bully guy, Mr. Terry Smith or Silver or whatever his name is, and him coming into it, just immediately I'm like, man, I hope he comes back. Like, knowing that John Kreese is in it now, I really hope he comes back. Seeing like the new bully, well, I'm like, can't wait to see where he is in 35 years, and just having this new lens on it, having the bonsai tree store actually be a thing and not just a fun, like, this happened in between, a crazy little thing. It was like, oh no, this is from that movie. And the way he kind of offhandedly says it in Cobra Kai, I'm like, oh, because it's kind of the less so beloved third movie thing that happened where they try and make a bonsai tree store, which I thought was fine. I don't know, all of it was fine and fun. I don't know, the characters of Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, they work so well together, I can kind of see them do anything. like try and set up a bonsai tree store. I'm just like, all right, well, I mean, whatever. I'll watch this for 90 minutes. I don't give a shit. Like, this is awesome. I just really like their dynamic. And that's kind of the main thing, having watched some Cobra Kai now, coming into the third one, thinking back on the first two movies, the Karate Kid movies. I think Daniel is so great as a character, as a kid. And I've also found it so fascinating having kind of not loved him in the Cobra Kai. Like, I enjoy what they're doing with him as a character, but I find him less compelling than Johnny. Whereas when I'm watching the Karate Kid movie, and even this third movie, not as good as the other two movies, I'm just so in love with him as a character. I find him so compelling. I really like this teenage little boy. I know he's 27 or 28 or whatever, but he looks like he's 15, and I cannot get past it. I refuse to get past it. That he is 15. It's some kind of Wikipedia error. That's I'm putting my foot down. It's a Wikipedia error that he can simply not be over 15. It just such a little baby face. Now I'm hearing it. Now I'm saying it more and more. I sound jealous. I'm not. I'm intrigued and mystified by the whole situation. It's really just baffling to me. And something else, Karate Kid 3, I don't know. It's good, it's fun, it's whatever. There's a bit where they go down some rocks and they're like rock climbing but downwards, whatever that's called. There always seems to now be like a big action set piece that's non-karate related in the Karate Kid like sequels. Like in the first one, there's a big hurricane storm and he climbs up a little tree or something to save a girl or whatever. And there's a big thunderstorm. And in this, rock climbing to get a tree and then to save the tree, but oh no, the tree drowned or it broke. It snapped. They saved it from drowning. But then they rock climb back later and they're like, actually, let's put you back here. So there's always like a big event, action set piece situation there, non-karate related, which I quite enjoy, but also maybe just put in some more karate because that's what I'm here for. But overall, I had a lot of fun. The villain's really, really great. Terry Smith and or Silver, whatever his name is. I'm not going to Google it. It doesn't really matter. I cannot wait for him to appear in Cobra Kai. If he doesn't, I'll be mad. Same with new villain, Angry Boy. Can't wait for him to rock up. What I would like for this villain is he rocks up and is still a villain. And by that I mean like an 80s villain, like not just like he's a villain, but he's, nuanced and complex. It'd be really fun if they brought one character back from Karate Kid into Cobra Kai who was kind of like not nuanced and was like, he's still just an 80s psycho. Like, that would actually be really, really funny. But, or maybe they'll do that if Terry comes back because he is just a cackling maniac. He's just like, ha 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 ha, ooh, I like torturing this child, ha 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 ha. One thing I didn't love is in the final fight, his like little asides and dialogues where it's just like, ooh, I'm having such a fun time watching him get punched in the face. They were all just a bit lame and it wasn't like that exciting. The final fight was just, I don't know, I felt like I was like, I know what's going to happen here. Even though that's what I wanted them to do a big tournament again. And it feels a bit easy to be like, you just get to skip to the end. Is that how it works? I'd be so angry if I was like going for the first time and being like, wait, that guy just gets to skip to the end? And I understand why they've done it because like, who cares? We just want to see these two guys fight. But I kind of like that moment during like the build up to that final fight, even though we know they're both going to make it, of everyone having to do a bit of karate to like get there. And there's a bit of a montage fighting sequence building up there. It kind of builds anticipation and excitement and another third word of feelings. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell and comment below. I would love to know what everyone thought of Karate Kid 3.